Welcome back to He Works Hard for the Honey. I'm Chris, the boxing beekeeper of Portland, Maine. Boy, I came out to the yard today with a laundry list of things I wanted to do and needed to check up on. And rather than a long video of you guys watching me watching frames, I figured I'd give you the rundown. Starting to my right, tops on my list today was to make sure, many of you will remember that on May 13th, Marissa, Danielle, and I, we came out, we pulled a nuke, a split off of this hive. This is our winter survivors over to my right. They were going like gangbusters. We want to make sure they didn't swarm. We pulled 5 frames out of here and made sure that the queen was on there. We installed those back in Portland, and just as hoped, they have requeened themselves. I was hoping to get in and lay eyes on her and mark her today. That didn't happen, and my smoker's going, wondrous. That didn't happen, but I did see eggs and brood, so she's been in there a little bit. She's been laying for longer than 3 days. That much I know for sure. I did feel something on my neck. Over the other end, all the way to my left, that hive I didn't have equipment for when I got out here. And I was afraid, I was traveling last week, that if I didn't get some new equipment on there that they were going to swarm, and they did. There are fully formed queen cells in there. There are no eggs or larvae. There's just capped brood. So I'm going to let that play out. And I've added some more equipment now that I had it, so that when that queen is there, she'll have room. It'll be good to go. There's a good chance that the bees that are in there now will start filling that extra space with nectar, which will make them all the more ready to make some honey in the extra boxes I put on there when I put them on there. After that, back here, I don't exactly know what's going on. They are just kind of tripping over themselves. They are not filling space. They're just kind of floundering, and I don't exactly know why. I found the beginning of a queen cell. Oh, hot. And could not find the queen herself. But given the right conditions right now, my thought is, as long as everything looks good in here, I'm going to grab myself a frame of brood from these bees, shake off their flyers, and gonna take the capped brood that I pull from here and put it in the other hive. That will give them a little boost, a little shot in the arm as far as population goes. Provided that everything looks good in here and we have a healthy laying queen, which actually the last time I was out, when the state did their inspection, I actually put some extra space on here at that time because, just like the other hive, I was getting nervous. Oh, I see a couple eggs, a few. I was getting nervous that this hive was going to swarm as well. And because this equipment up here is so new, I'm not expecting there to be capped brood. So I'm very quickly going to move down to the bottom here. I've got it kind of mixed up. So I've got a sort of deep, medium, deep. I'll fix that as the season goes and move this up to where I want it to be. But for the time being, that's not truly or terribly important. This, I think, is this burr comb, this kind of what I've heard beekeepers call crazy comb, is kind of left over from before I added the extra deep. They were just running out of room here. And so I put the extra deep on to give them a little extra space, which they obviously needed. They're building comb into spaces where they don't really need the comb. We don't really want the comb, and we're gonna see some of that. I can already feel under there. And this is part of why we don't want this comb here, is because when I'm moving the boxes, this is just, you know, it's a big trap for just catching the bees in there and crushing them. I am pulling tons of wax today, which is not a bad thing. Now that we are cleaning and rendering wax, there's a big chunk of it over here. I'm gonna clean up the top here so I can clean out some of that wax. And again, all I'm really hoping for is to find one good, she doesn't want to go, to find one really good frame of capped brood, so I can transfer it to the hive behind me that's really, really kind of stalling out. In the near future, we are going to be requeening all of these hives, except for the one immediately behind me that we just let requeen itself, because due to some issues with the packages that came up from Kentucky, all of the packages that we did end up getting came with Italian queens. Italian queens are great. I always think it's funny. I've heard beekeepers say that the stereotype about Italians translates to the queens and the bees as well. The table's always set and it's always full. Who doesn't love that about bees? But the problem is that they're not extremely winter hardy. So here in southern Maine, that just won't do. So I am gonna make sure, this is a good one. This is a good one. A lot of very solid capped brood. I'm trying to make sure the queen isn't on here before I give it a couple of shakes. And I don't see her, so we are just going to there you can see all of the capped brood. Just gonna step back here and put it into a place where I pulled an empty frame, pulled the tick off of my neck that's making the break for my hairline. And then I'm going to replace that with some empty equipment that they can then and that's as simple as that. I am hoping by the time I come back out here, those eggs will have hatched, which will create some nurse bees. More nurse bees means the queen can lay more eggs. And that there will be nurse bees to care for them and feed them, clean after them. Holy smokes, with the ticks. Jesus. And this looks really healthy. Really excited about this one. When they start feeling a little bit more of their space here, I'll come back and I'll put on a box so they can start making some excess honey. I'll keep you updated on this one, and check us out next time. We will be requeening 3 hives with purebred Russian queens. Much more winter hardy, much more responsive to changes in weather, and also more resistant to some of the pests. I wonder if they'll be resistant to ticks that bees face. Would still love, if any questions, anything you guys want to see this year, I'm